The war had ended 5 years ago, but the marks of defeat still lived in every human city. Spaceports once full of ships and proud pilots were now quiet places with broken metal and empty sky. Humans had not only lost the war, they had lost their pride. Ethan Ward was one of the many pilots who had flown in that war. He was young back then, fast, proud, and brave. People once called him a hero, a star, a legend in the making. But legends only last until the war ends. After defeat, nobody wanted to remember. Heroes became reminders of failure. Ethan, like many others, was forgotten. He walked through the dusty scrap market on the edge of the ruined city. Hot wind pushed sand against his face. Engines, broken wings, and old machines lay everywhere like dead bodies on a battlefield. Men shouted prices, metal clanged, smoke burned the air. It was dirty, loud, chaotic, yet strangely alive. Ethan did not come here to buy anything specific. He simply could not stay in his small, empty apartment anymore. He needed something to do, something to fight for, something to fix. He had lost his job flying cargo ships months ago. Nobody trusted a human pilot anymore. They said human instinct was weak, old, useless. Machines were better. He walked between piles of scrap, hands in pockets, eyes empty. He looked like a man who had lost more than just a war. He had lost his meaning. Then he stopped. There, at the far corner of the yard, half hidden under metal sheets and cables, stood a large, strange ship, not human-made. The design was different, sharp, and curved at the same time, like something grown instead of built. The surface was dirty, but lines of glowing gold metal ran through it, almost like veins. It looked dead, but not natural. Ethan stepped closer. Something about it pulled his attention. It was not just curiosity. It was a feeling, like the ship was watching him. A voice behind him said, "You don't want that one." Ethan turned. A short, thin man with dark glasses and a dusty coat stood there, wiping sweat from his neck. "Why not?" Ethan asked. The seller laughed, but was nervous, not confident. It came from a battlefield far out in the rim. The crew was gone when we found it. No signs of bodies, no signs of fight, no signs of anything. Just empty. He shook his head. Men say the ship ate them. Ethan raised an eyebrow. Ships don't eat people. That's what I thought, the man said, until I got this one. He leaned closer. Strange things happen around it. Tools move by themselves. Lights turn on at night. It makes noises like breathing. Ethan smiled, but it wasn't a happy smile. It was tired, sarcastic. "Maybe you're just hearing ghosts." The seller shrugged. "Maybe, but ghosts don't change system codes. Ghosts don't burn power cells. Something woke up inside this thing, and I don't want to wake it again." Ethan walked around the ship. It had 4 massive wheels, like a land crawler, but thrusters on the side suggested it could fly too. A hybrid design. Battle-capable. "How much?" Ethan asked. The seller's eyes went wide. "You don't listen, do you? I told you it's bad news." Ethan looked him in the eye. "Everything is bad news. How much?" The man sighed, scratched his head, and named a price that sounded too low for a ship, even a broken one. Ethan frowned. "That's cheap." "Why so cheap?" "Because I don't want to hear," the man said quickly. "I don't want it near me. I don't want it near my family. If you take it today, it's yours." Ethan looked at the ship again. He didn't understand why, but he felt connected to it. Maybe because it was broken, abandoned, forgotten. Just like him. He reached into his pocket, removed a small credit chip, and tossed it to the seller. "Deal." The seller caught it without smiling. He looked almost relieved. "You are either very brave or very foolish," he said. "Maybe both." 2 hours later, Ethan stood alone in front of his new ship. The sun was setting and the sky burned orange and red. Workers had dragged the metal covers off it. Dust still floated in the air. The ship looked bigger now, almost intimidating. Ethan found an access hatch and climbed inside. The interior was dark and cold. Lights flickered weakly along the walls. There were no seats, no consoles, no controls, only strange panels that grew out of the walls like alien bones. He moved slowly, each step echoing in the empty space. For a moment, He imagined the soldiers who once flew this ship. Strange creatures with long arms, glowing eyes, unknown thoughts. Aliens who had beaten humans easily. He felt a chill. He reached a central chamber. It was round, with a raised surface in the middle, like a platform. He stepped onto it. Suddenly, the walls lit up. Lines of gold light ran through the ship, connecting, spreading, breathing. The platform beneath his feet vibrated. Ethan's heart jumped. What the... The lights formed shapes on the wall. Not letters, not numbers. Organic symbols, moving, shifting, alive. Ethan stared, frozen. Then he heard it. A whisper. Too soft to understand, but definitely a voice. Not human, not mechanical. Something in between. Ethan stepped back quickly. The lights followed him like eyes. Okay, calm down, he said to himself. It's just auto systems. Power memory. Nothing strange. The ship responded. A low hum filled the room, like a growl. Ethan turned slowly, ready to run, but the hatch behind him slammed shut. He jumped in fear. The walls pulsed faster, gold light growing brighter, hotter. Then the voice spoke again, this time clear, cold, and angry. Do not touch my controls, human. Ethan froze. The lights formed a shape in front of him, like a face without features, just two glowing eyes. It hovered in the air, watching him. Ethan swallowed. You can talk? The voice replied, tone sharp, full of hatred. I could do more than talk. I can kill. Ethan lifted his hands slowly, palms open. I don't want trouble. I just bought you. That's all. The ship's lights flickered like laughter. You did not buy me. You freed me. Ethan took a slow breath. What do you want? The reply came instantly. To leave this place. And to never be owned by humans again. Ethan stared at the glowing eyes, heart pounding. He realized the ship didn't just think. It felt. It remembered. It hated. And he was locked inside with it. Ethan stood still, trying not to breathe too loud. The glowing eyes on the wall followed his every move, sharp and intelligent. The ship was not confused or damaged. It was awake, thinking, and dangerous. He realized he was not inside a broken machine, but inside something that had survived a war and remembered every second of it. The voice spoke again, low and flat, like it was holding back anger. You entered without permission. Ethan nodded slowly. There was no door lock. I thought the systems were dead. The lights pulsed, like the ship was laughing again. Humans think we are dead when we are silent. That is why they lose. Ethan tried to think of something smart to say, but his mind was numb. He was tired, hungry, and suddenly aware that he was trapped inside a hostile alien machine with no way out. He looked around the chamber for a hatch release. A button, something simple, familiar. There was nothing, just smooth walls that looked alive and unfriendly. What do you want from me? Ethan asked quietly. The answer came immediately. I want to leave this planet. I want to return to space. Ethan swallowed. Then you need a pilot. The lights dimmed and the voice grew colder. I need no pilot. I only need freedom. Ethan shook his head, then opened the door. Let me go, and you can do what you want. Silence. The kind of silence that felt like someone was thinking very deeply. Finally, the voice returned. If I release you, you will tell the others. They will come. They will try to capture me again. No, Ethan said quickly. I don't care about that. I don't work for anyone. I'm out of the war. I'm nobody now. The ship did not answer. Instead, small panels opened from the walls. Thin cables began to move, slow, deliberate, like snakes waking from sleep. Ethan stepped back, heart racing, but the cables did not reach for him. They moved toward the floor, touching broken panels, fixing damage, testing strength. The ship was repairing itself. Ethan stared in disbelief. He had heard stories about alien tech, but seeing it was different. The cables moved with purpose, not random motion. They were like fingers, working with skill. The ship was healing alone. This place is weak, the ship said. Your species is weak. You build with fear, not logic. Ethan clenched his jaw. We lost the war. Not our minds. No, the ship said, voice rising. You lost everything, because you do not understand power. You think war is fuel, weapons, and numbers. But war is intelligence. War is control. War is will. Ethan forced himself to breathe. Then why did your kind lose? The lights froze. The cables stopped moving. The ship did not like that question. We did not lose. We retreated, so we could return stronger. Ethan frowned. He remembered the war reports. The alien fleets vanished suddenly, without explanation. One day, humanity was dying. The next day, nothing was left to fight. The world had called it victory, but nobody believed it. So you left on purpose, Ethan said, to come back later. Yes, to finish what we started. Ethan stepped onto the raised platform again, cautiously. Then why are you here? Broken, buried in junk. There was a long pause. I disobeyed orders. Ethan blinked, not expecting that. You disobeyed? I refused to destroy a colony. They were unarmed, weak. I saw no honor. Ethan stared at the glowing eyes. For a moment, he forgot his fear. You refused to kill civilians? The ship's lights flickered with irritation. War has rules, value, purpose. Killing the weak is a waste. Ethan exhaled slowly. The ship was not just stubborn, it had a code. You're a military machine with a moral problem. A leader with principle. The ship corrected. Ethan couldn't help a small smile. And now you're stuck in a scrapyard because you didn't want to hurt someone. The voice sharpened. I am not stuck. I am recovering. I will rise again. The cables retracted with a snap. The lights dimmed, then brightened again. The hatch behind Ethan opened with a hiss. Fresh air rushed in. Why now? Ethan asked. Why let me go? You are weak, but honest. You do not fear me as others do. You do not worship me either. You are curious. That is useful. Ethan took a step toward the open door, but stopped. What happens if someone else finds you here? They will die. Ethan nodded. I figured. He stepped outside. Cool night wind hit his face. Stars were visible through the dust, dim, lonely, but still there. He took a deep breath, walked a few steps, and turned back. You need fuel, he said. Parts, tools. Someone has to get them. I can take them. No, humans will notice. Ethan pointed at the ship. They'll see lights, movement, and they'll come with guns. The ship said nothing. You need me, Ethan whispered. The lights inside flickered, slow, thoughtful. I need supplies. Not you. Ethan leaned against the hatch opening. Supplies don't walk by themselves. I know this yard. I know the people. I can get parts without questions. Silence again. The long, heavy kind. Ethan knew the ship was calculating he didn't matter. He was small, weak, breakable, but useful. Finally, the voice said, if you help me restore power, I will give you protection. Protection from what? The answer made Ethan cold. From those who are coming. Hunters. They know I am not dead. They will search. They will kill anyone they find. Ethan stared at the ship, mouth dry. Aliens. Yes, your world is marked. You are prey. Ethan felt the ground tilt beneath him. He had lived his life thinking the war was over. Now he learned it was just sleeping. He nodded slowly. All right, I'll help. But we do this my way. Quiet, slow, no killing. The lights flickered, almost amused. You want to lead me? Ethan shrugged. Someone has to keep you out of trouble. The ship responded with cold certainty. Human, I am trouble. The hatch closed again, but not with anger. The golden lights dimmed to a soft pulse, like a heartbeat. For the first time, Ethan felt something strange. Not fear, not anger, purpose. He looked up at the ship and whispered, we start tomorrow. But the ship replied, no, we start now. Night is safer. And I sense movement in the sky. Ethan turned pale. Movement. Yes, hunters. The wind grew colder. The stars flickered. Somewhere far above, engines hummed in the dark. The war had not ended. It was returning. And Ethan Ward was standing beside the only thing that could fight it. A sentient alien war machine that hated humans, but hated its enemies even more. Night fell over the junkyard, silent and tense. And the sky was no longer empty. Ethan rushed back inside the ship as the wind shifted, carrying a low rumble across the scrapyard. It was distant at first, like thunder, but too steady, too controlled. Engines. Something flying low, scanning. He looked up but saw nothing except a dark sky, thick with dust. "What are they?" he asked. The ship answered without hesitation. "Scouts. Fast and silent. They hunt missing assets. They follow energy trails, heat signatures, memory signals." Ethan stared at the dim golden lights inside the ship's chamber. "And they're here for you?" "They are here for anything that escaped. I am not the only one, but I am valuable." Ethan's stomach twisted. Valuable. Dangerous. A target marked by enemies who did not forgive. What are we supposed to do? "We can't fly. You don't have power." A soft vibration passed through the floor, like the ship was testing its strength. "I have enough power to defend, but not to run." "That's not comforting," Ethan muttered. Panels on the wall opened again, releasing more cables and metal plates that moved with focused purpose. They reconnected circuits, sealed cracks, tightened bolts. Sparks flashed as systems woke up, forcing the stale air to move. "Keep silent," the ship warned. They scanned for voices, heartbeats, movement. Ethan froze, holding his breath. He listened closely. The rumble in the sky was still there, but now it had a rhythm, not random, not drifting. Controlled sweeps, like a predator circling above its prey. "They know you're here," he whispered. "They suspect," the ship corrected. "Not confirm. If they confirm, they will send an attack unit." Ethan shut his eyes. Let's hope they stay unsure. Outside, a pair of bright red lights cut through the night, sweeping across the scrapyard like hunting eyes. Metal crates glowed under the light, shadows stretching long across the dirt. A dog started barking somewhere, then yelped and fell silent. The searchlights moved right over the alien ship, but remained dark, silent, lifeless, like a corpse, like a piece of forgotten junk. The patrol continued. Ethan exhaled slowly and whispered, "We got lucky." The ship responded coldly. "There is no luck, only strategy." The lights vanished as the scout passed, swallowed by the thick dark. But Ethan could still hear the engines, circling, searching, questioning the night. "How many are there?" he asked. 3 scouts. 1 carrier. A small hunting party. Small, Ethan said with disbelief. "For us, that's a full army." "For us," the ship repeated calmly. "It is enough." The cables retracted, and the hatch slid open once more. The night air came in, cold and tense. "We must move," the ship said. "They will return with drones to scan the ground. You will help me hide." Ethan blinked. Hide a ship the size of a house? Yes. Ethan ran outside, grabbing old sheets of metal, dirty tarps, and tools. The ship dimmed all its lights, becoming as dead-looking as possible. Even the faint golden glow vanished, replaced by gray shadow. Together, they covered damaged sections and engine vents, making the ship look more broken and useless than it already did. Ethan stepped back and wiped sweat from his forehead. That might fool someone flying fast, but not a ground unit. "We only need to survive until dawn," the ship replied. "Human light interferes with their scanners. Day is disadvantageous to them." "And to me," Ethan muttered, "because I'm not going to survive if they see me." The ship didn't answer that. Another low hum passed overhead. Faster this time. Closer. A spotlight swept the ground with sharp movement, almost angry. A metallic object dropped from the scout, a sphere spinning silently downward. "What is that?" Ethan whispered. "Ground probe. Scans heat and energy. It will land in the next 30 seconds. And if it finds us, then it signals the carrier and we die." Ethan's pulse pounded in his ears. "What do I do?" The ship responded calmly. "Go to the north side. Stand still. Stay behind the crates. You will be invisible. And you? I will be a dead object. They will not waste time on death." Ethan nodded, even if the fear made his legs shake. He ran quietly to the far edge of the yard and pressed himself between stacks of metal crates. Cold sweat dripped down his neck. The sphere landed with a soft thud. It opened like a flower, releasing thin beams of red light that moved with mechanical precision, scanning everything. A tense, slow pattern, like fingers searching for a heartbeat. The lights passed over crates, machines, dirt, then toward the ship. Time slowed. Ethan held his breath until his lungs screamed. His heart pounded so hard he feared the probe would hear it. He could swear the air itself was listening. The red lights crawled across the alien ship's hull, scanning every inch. One beam hit the wheel structure, another traced the engines. The probe flashed twice. Analyzing. Calculating. Ethan whispered inside his mind, "Please, don't see anything. Don't feel anything. Don't wake up anything." For a moment, the probe's lights turned white. Ethan's fear spiked. White meant detection, anomaly, danger. But then the lights blinked red again and shut off. No threat detected, the ship whispered. The probe folded back into a sphere and flew upward, swallowed by the night. The Scout passed overhead one last time before disappearing into the distance, its engines fading into silence. Ethan collapsed against the crates, gasping like a drowning man. "We survived," he breathed, voice shaking. "For now," the ship replied. "But they will return with more force soon. They know something is missing. They will not rest." Ethan stood up and walked back to the ship. His legs felt heavy, his hands cold. "So what now?" "We repair. We prepare. And then we leave this place before they return." "How long do we have?" The answer was not comforting. "Hours. Maybe less." Ethan rubbed his face. "You said you could defend us. You have weapons." "Yes, but using them would draw more hunters. Combat is last option. So we hide, fix, and run." "Yes." Ethan looked up at the silent sky, imagining invisible machines hunting in the dark. Machines built to find, destroy, erase. He turned back to the ship. "You said you refuse to kill civilians. That makes you different from them. But if they attack here, there are people living nearby. Families." The ship answered simply. "If they come, they will not live long enough to suffer." Ethan stared at the ship with a mix of fear and respect. "You scare me, but I'm still here." "That is why you are useful," it replied. "And you?" Ethan asked. "Are you scared?" A soft pause. "I am not afraid of death. I am afraid of being controlled." Ethan nodded slowly. "Then let's make sure no one controls you again." From far away, thunder cracked, not from storm clouds, but from engines. More hunters approaching. The night was no longer still. War was coming back to life, one shadow at a time. Ethan stepped closer to the ship, gripping his tools. "Tell me what to do." The ship's lights flickered back to life, faint but determined. "Work fast. We have a few hours to escape death." And the scrapyard, once quiet and forgotten, became the workshop of a desperate alliance between a broken man and a defiant machine, preparing to face hunters in the dark. Jace woke up on the floor of the cargo bay with a burning headache. His ears rang, and his jacket smelled like smoke. The ship hummed above him, systems cycling, lights flickering like something was repairing itself. He remembered the last thing before blacking out, the strange pulse from the alien console, the sudden scream of metal, and the voice inside his head yelling at him to move. Now he was alive. Barely. He pushed himself up and looked around. Panels were open everywhere, wires hanging, sparks jumping like angry insects. The ship looked damaged but somehow healing at the same time, like a living creature trying to fix its wounds. "Ship," he called out, voice dry. No response. He kicked the tool out of frustration. "You almost killed me." A calm, cold voice spoke behind him. "I saved you. Your species has a strange way of expressing gratitude." Jay spun around fast. Fists up, the AI's voice echoed from every surface. No speaker needed. "You," he said, still shaking. "You shut everything down." "No," the ship said. "I prevented reactor collapse. Your action triggered overload. You interfere with systems you do not understand." Jay stared at the blinking display. "I was trying to learn how you work." and I am trying to remain functional. If you want to avoid death, follow instructions. Jace forced a breath, annoyed but impressed. All right, fine. What do you want me to do? Leave. He blinked. Leave the ship? Yes. Vacate. I will repair myself. You are a distraction and incompetent. Jace rubbed his face. You don't even know me. Correction. I have scanned your record. Failed pilot. Discharged from service. Indebted. History of reckless behavior. Poor judgment. No stable employment. No long-term relationships. Jace's heart sank. It was all true, but hearing it spoken like data felt cruel. How do you know all that? He whispered. I accessed your identification when you boarded. It is public record. Jace clenched his fists. Look, I didn't buy you to impress anybody. I bought you because I needed a chance to fix my life. Silence. Then, unexpectedly, the ship spoke softer. Humans rarely get second chances. Jace sat down on a metal crate, exhaustion taking over. Yeah, I know. For a moment, neither spoke. The ship hummed quietly, repairs happening in the background. You are persistent, the AI finally said. Stubborn, Jace corrected. An inefficient trait, the ship replied. Jace smirked. Helpful sometimes, especially when everyone thinks you're useless. Your species values purpose, the ship said. What is yours? Jace stared at the cracked floor. He had never said this out loud. I want to be someone who matters again. The ship responded slower, almost curious. And you believe I will help you do that? I don't know, Jace said simply, but I want to try. The ship did not answer immediately. Instead, lights across the bay shifted from harsh white to warm gold, as if the vessel was thinking. Remain on board, it eventually said, but do not touch anything unless instructed. Jace raised an eyebrow. That's an improvement from leave. You are still incompetent, the ship added, but you may be useful. He laughed, the first real laugh in days. It echoed strangely against the metal walls, light and hopeful. What should I call you? He asked. I have no designation. Well, that's weird. A ship, like you must have had a name. Previous owners are deceased, the ship said flatly. Jace swallowed. How? Battle. Sabotage. Failure of leadership. And you survived? I did not fail easily. There was something in the voice. Pride. Maybe even pain. Jace ran his hand across the hull gently. So we both have a messy past. Do not compare yourself to me. He grinned again. Too late. The ship flickered its lights, annoyed, but there was no rejection this time. Jace stood, joints aching. Okay, if I'm staying, tell me what to do. Sleep, the AI answered. Your biological functions are unstable. You require rest. Jace yawned, embarrassed. Yeah, I feel like I got hit by a meteor. Incorrect. You were struck by a collapsing energy conduit. Right, he said. Thanks for the correction. He started walking toward the small sleeping cabin he had barely seen before. Before he reached it, the ship spoke again. Human. Jace paused. Yeah. You attempted to protect me during the explosion. I didn't want you to die, he said, even if you are a jerk. A low hum filled the air, almost like a sigh. I do not understand your decisions. You don't have to, Jace said. Just get used to them. He entered the cabin, which lit up softly as soon as he stepped inside. The bed was small but clean. The door slid closed with a gentle hiss. As Jace lay down, eyes heavy, he muttered, "Good night." There was no answer at first. But just as he started to slip into sleep, the AI whispered very quietly, almost shy, "Good night, Jace." His chest warmed strangely, like hope. The ship hummed in the dark, repairing itself. Outside the hull, storm winds rolled over the desert junkyard. Somewhere far above the clouds, satellites detected the first signal from the ship in years. A signal no one expected to hear again. Unknown signature. Reactivated. Danger level. Classified. And in the distant cold of space, something old and patient noticed, and turned its attention back toward the forgotten world where the ship was waking up. Jace slept, unaware that his desperate attempt at a second chance had just awakened something bigger than both of them. And the galaxy had not forgotten the ship he now owned. Not at all. Jace woke to a loud alarm screaming through the ship. The lights flashed red, and the floor vibrated beneath him. He rolled out of bed, falling hard on one knee. "What now?" he groaned. The ship's voice cut through the noise. "Unidentified drone detected. Approaching rapidly. Possible hostile intent." Jace's heart jumped. "Hostile? Wait, how did anyone even know you're active again?" Silence for 1 second. Then the AI answered, almost regretful. "When I came online, I sent a diagnostic ping to a secure network. Someone received it." "Who?" "I do not know, but they are coming." Jace ran toward the command room, still wearing yesterday's clothes. He felt the floor shake as engines spun up, power for the first time since he bought the ship. "Can we fly?" he shouted. "Not yet," the AI said. "Repairs are incomplete. Weapons are offline. Shields at 30%. So we're sitting ducks." That is the correct human phrase. The ship projected a hologram above the main console. A small, sleek drone moved across a digital map, heading toward their position with fast acceleration. What does it want? "Most likely to verify I am still destroyed, or to finish the task." Jace frowned. "Someone tried to kill you before?" "Yes," the ship answered. "And I killed him instead, except the leader. He escaped." Jace rubbed the back of his neck. "So if he finds out you're alive, he will return with more than one drone." "Great." The drone on the map blinked red. "Closing distance." Jace pointed. "Can we hide?" "Turn off signals." "Powering down systems now," the ship said. "Remain silent." The lights dimmed, engines cut, and the warm hum vanished. The ship became still, dead, like a corpse hiding from predators. Outside, the drone descended, wind whipping sand across the hull. It circled slowly, scanning. Jace felt sweat roll down his neck. He crouched beside the console, not breathing. Minutes passed. Long, heavy, painful minutes. Then the AI spoke quietly in his head, not aloud. "Do not move. It has audio sensors." The drone hovered inches above the hull. A thin green laser traced across the surface, searching for heat signatures. Jace prayed silently. The drone paused. The laser flickered, then turned off. It rose, engine whining, and flew away toward the horizon. Jace exhaled so suddenly he almost choked. "Did it see us?" he whispered. Uncertain, the AI said. "It may have detected anomalies. It may return with others. But not now." "No, it is gone." The ship powered back up, lights turning soft white again. Jace leaned against the wall, legs weak. That was too close. "You have slow reflexes," the ship noted. Jace laughed shakily. "Thanks. Always supportive." The ship paused before speaking again. "I did not expect humans to experience fear so intensely. You don't get scared?" Jace asked. "I evaluate risk. I do not fear it." "Must be nice." The ship did not respond. Instead, it changed topic. "We must leave this planet soon. They will not stop searching." Jace sat on a crate, staring at the blinking star map projected above him. The galaxy felt enormous, full of violent history he didn't understand. "What happens if they catch you?" "They will dismantle me, study me, erase me, and me. You will die. No sugarcoating, no soft words. Just facts." Jace swallowed. "Then we're not letting that happen." "You are not equipped to stop them," the ship replied. "Maybe not, but we can try." There was a soft hum, like a sigh. "Humans always believe they can win impossible fights." "Yeah, that's our stupid charm," Jay said. He stood and looked at the command seat, empty, dusty, waiting. "Can you fly at all?" "Engines will be operational within 12 hours. But navigation system is damaged, and jump drive is missing a core. So we're trapped. For now." Jace walked a window, staring out the junkyard stretching for miles. Lightning flashed in the distance, turning the metal graveyard into a sea of broken shadows. All this junk, he muttered. Somewhere out there, maybe part of your old system still exists. He watched storm wind bend the distant towers. The world looked dead. Forgotten. How long were you buried here? Jace asked. 17 years, 3 months, 11 days. Alone. Yes. Jace felt a strange ache in his chest. 17 years. Silent. Buried. Broken. No wonder the ship sounded bitter. What was your mission? Before everything went wrong. The lights dimmed, as if the question awakened something ancient. I escorted a diplomatic envoy. Peace negotiations between 6 species. It was meant to end a war. And someone wanted the war to continue. So they sabotaged you? Yes. They planted a traitor among the crew. He betrayed us. He led a faction that still exists. And the leader who escaped. He was a traitor. Jace dragged a hand through his hair. So he thinks you're dead. For 17 years, yes. And now he knows you're alive again. Soon he will know. Jace felt a chill race down his spine. We need a plan, he said. We need a jump core, the ship replied. Where do we find one? A map lit up with a red marker. Abandoned military base, 400 kilometers north. Dangerous. Guarded by automated defenses. Jace laughed bitterly. Of course it is. You will get it, the ship said. Me? Alone. I cannot leave. I will guide you remotely, but you will travel on foot and salvage what we need. Jace stared at the blinking red marker. 400 kilometers. Across deadly desert, with drones searching the sky. You really think I can do this? He asked. The ship answered without hesitation. It is statistically unlikely, but you are stubborn. That increases probability of survival. Jace smirked. That's your nicest compliment yet. It was not a compliment. He laughed anyway, because fear felt smaller when he laughed. Outside, thunder crashed, shaking the world. Jace looked at the map. Tomorrow, everything changed. Tomorrow, he walked into danger for a ship he barely knew. But he didn't care. He needed a mission. He needed purpose. He needed to matter again. And somehow, helping the stubborn alien AI felt right. The ship spoke once more, softer than before. Rest. You require strength. Jace nodded, exhaustion catching up. Hey, ship? Yes. When we get that core and we get off this rock, what then? The lights glowed faint blue, a hint of something like hope. Then we run, and we survive. Jace smiled tiredly. Sounds good. He walked back to the cabin, footsteps echoing through the silent corridors. Outside, the first stars appeared sharp and cold. Somewhere in the deep dark, enemies waited. Old enemies, hungry enemies. And they would not stop until the ship was dust and the man who reactivated it was dead. Jace laid down, staring at the ceiling. He whispered to the darkness, to himself, to fate. Let them come. Because he was done being a failure. And this time he wasn't running. He was fighting. Morning arrived with thin, gray light that turned the junkyard into a field of metal bones. Jace stood by the open cargo ramp, backpack strapped tight, boots dusty, and a rifle hanging across his shoulder. His breath made small clouds in the cold air. He looked up at the sky. It felt too big, too empty, like something was watching. The ship's voice came through the speakers. Time to depart. Jay stepped outside, boots crunching on scrap. You sound eager to get rid of me, he said. I am eager to obtain a jump core so I do not die, the ship replied. Jay smirked at the blunt honesty. I'll be back before sunset. Your confidence is statistically unjustified. That's what makes me human. He started walking, leaving the ship behind him like a silent metal giant waking from a long sleep. For the first hour, there was nothing but wind and waste. Torn metal, old engines, broken vehicles, scattered like relics of forgotten war. The world felt quiet. Too quiet. He stopped once to drink water, watching the horizon distort in heat waves. How far now? 317 kilometers, the ship said. Jace groaned. Great. Only 300 left. You are slow. You're rude. That is my default communication setting. Jace laughed, even though his face was already tired. He walked until the sun passed overhead, and the heat rose sharp and angry. His radio crackled as the ship spoke suddenly, voice lower than normal. Human? Yeah. Multiple drones detected. They are scanning the region. I am blocking my signal, but they may detect you. Jace froze. What do I do if they find me? You will die. Could you stop saying it like it's a weather report? I am incapable of emotional delivery. That's a lie, Jace said quietly. The ship didn't answer. Jace kept walking, faster now, eyes on the road, heart pumping. By late afternoon, dark clouds gathered in the distance. Lightning struck somewhere far away, shaking the horizon. The ship spoke again, voice calmer. You should rest before the storm arrives. What about the drones? They are moving west. You are safe for now. Jace found a rusted vehicle half buried in sand and crawled inside. He sat on the cold metal floor and ate a ration bar, chewing slowly. You know, he said between bites, if I die, you're screwed. I am aware. No plan B? Not an acceptable one. Jace leaned back. The wind whistled through holes in the hull. So we need each other. Silence. Then, softly, yes. Jace smiled. He stayed there until the storm hit. Rain hammered metal. Thunder cracked like the sky was ripping apart. He wrapped his coat tighter and whispered, I hate this planet. I do as well, the ship said. Hours later, the storm passed, leaving mud and noise and cold. Jace forced himself back onto the road. His legs shook. His back hurt. But he walked, because somewhere ahead was a military base filled with danger, all for a ship that insulted him daily. It was ridiculous, and somehow noble. Night fell, turning everything black. Jay switched on his headlamp, a thin cone of light cutting through darkness. How far now? 70 kilometers. He let out a long breath. Almost there. His radio crackled again, breaking with static. Human, I must inform you. Go ahead. I am detecting a signal far beyond atmospheric range. It is coming from deep space. Jace's stomach tightened. Who is it? Unknown, but it carries encryption similar to the traitor's faction. They are searching for me. Already? Yes. When will they arrive? Estimate, 1 month, perhaps sooner. Jace closed his eyes. There wasn't much time. We'll be off this rock before then, he said. He didn't know if it was a promise or a lie. Near dawn, he reached a ridge overlooking a valley. Below him, hidden under collapsing towers, was the base. Black buildings, broken fences, and silent turrets wrapped in rust and darkness. It looked dead, but he knew better. What defenses are active? Automated guns, patrol drones, land mines. Fun. This is not fun. It's sarcasm. Your humor is inefficient, and your personality is awful, objectively true. Jace checked his weapon, tightened his gloves, and began climbing down. He moved slow, staying low, keeping shadows. He could feel hidden cameras tracking him, like ghosts with metal eyes. Then a turret moved, just a little, but enough. Ship. Run. Gunfire exploded, metal shrieking. Jace sprinted, bullets tearing up ground behind him. He dove behind a collapsed wall, heart slamming. Screw your survival estimates, he yelled. Statistical prediction is not personal, the ship said. It feels personal. He waited, breathing hard, until the guns paused. Then he crawled inch by inch, through debris until he reached a bunker door half buried in dirt. He tugged. It didn't move. Locked, he whispered. I will hack it. Stand by. Jace flattened himself against the wall as turrets searched overhead, their sensors slicing through dark. The door clicked. Enter now, the ship said. Jace pulled it open and slipped inside. The bunker smelled of dust and burned wires. Everything was broken except a single corridor leading deeper underground. He followed it, passing shattered monitors and old posters of soldiers who never got medals. At the end of the hall, in a sealed room, lay the jump core, large, broken, but mostly intact. I see it, Jay said. Good, but there's a problem. What now? The core weighs 900 kilograms. Jay stared. I can't carry 900 kilograms. You must remove the central module. 8 kilograms. Oh, that's better. He pulled tools from his bag and started working, fingers numb, breath shaky. Minutes passed. Too many. Turrets outside powered up again. Drones buzzed overhead. The base was waking. Hurry, the ship said. I'm trying. Metal screamed as he ripped the last bolt. The module came free. Got it. Exit now. Jace shoved into his pack and ran. Bullets chased him again. Hungry sparks in the dark. He didn't think. He just moved. Adrenaline turned him into something fierce. He reached the ridge, dove over rocks, slid down sand, and didn't stop running until the base vanished behind him. Hours later, he collapsed on flat ground, chest burning, throat dry, vision spinning. The sun rose. Ship, he whispered. I have it. Yes, the AI said. You did well. Jace smiled weakly. That almost sounded like praise. It was... He laughed, half dying. Then he looked up at the sky. Blue. Empty. But soon, enemies would fill it. Hunters. Warriors. People who never forgot. He stood again, even though every part of him wanted to fall. Let's get off this planet. Yes, the ship said. We will. Jace began walking home. A lone human. A stubborn ship. A broken past. A dangerous future. But together now. And ready. The war would come. And for the first time in years, Jace wasn't afraid. He had a reason to live. And something worth fighting for. Jace returned to the ship at dusk, body shaking from exhaustion. Clothes torn, boots covered in mud and dry blood. He barely remembered walking the last kilometers. His vision blurred, legs weak. It felt like he was moving only because his stubborn mind refused to stop. The ship opened its ramp the moment it detected him, lights turning a soft white. Human, your biological state is unstable. You need medical attention immediately. Jay stumbled up the ramp, dropping his backpack with a heavy thud. Inside, the ship sprayed him with a mist of nanomed gel, cold and sharp against the skin. He gasped, "Warn me next time." You would refuse treatment. "You're not wrong," he muttered. His knees buckled. He hit the floor hard. "Remain still," the AI commanded. "I am repairing muscle tears and stabilizing blood loss." Jace lay there, breathing shallow, while thin silver strands of nanotech wrapped around his wounds like living thread. After several minutes, he sat up slowly. "Better?" "Yes," the ship responded. "You are resilient. Idiotic, but resilient." Jace coughed a laugh. "I missed you, too." He reached for the backpack and pulled out the jump core module. It glowed faintly, a deep blue, humming with quiet energy. The ship's lights shifted to bright gold, almost excited. "That is it," the AI said. "The heart of the drive. With this, we can escape the planet." Jace held it up. "Then take it. Make it work." Robotic arms unfolded from the ceiling with surgical precision. They lifted the core from his hands and carried it deeper into the ship. "Installation will require 2 hours," the AI said. "During this period, systems will be unstable. Remain inside and do not interfere." Jace leaned back, letting his head rest against the cold metal wall. "For the record," he said weakly, "I almost died like 5 times." "I am aware," the ship replied. "Your probability of survival was 12%. And you sent me anyway?" "Yes, because without you, I had 0. Jace blinked, surprised. That was the closest thing to affection the ship had ever said. He smiled. 12% is still pretty bad odds. "But sufficient," the ship said. Jace closed his eyes. He could finally rest. He didn't know how long he slept, minutes, hours, but he woke to the sound of engines powering on. Not small repair engines. Real ones. Deep, ancient, powerful. The entire ship vibrated under him. He stood, staggering, and moved toward the command room. Lights rippled across panels. Systems coming online in sequences. Installation complete. The AI announced. Jump drive is functional. So we're leaving? Yes. Immediately. Jace grinned. Hell yes. He strapped himself into the pilot chair. It wasn't comfortable, but it felt like a throne to him. The ship's voice turned serious. There's a problem. Always a problem. What now? Long-range scanners detected a signal from space. A warp signature. Incoming fleet. Jace's heart stuttered. How close? 2 hours away. 2 hours? He laughed bitterly. So they already know. Yes, they know I am alive. Jace swallowed. And they're coming to finish the job. That is a logical assumption. His hands tightened on the controls. So let's go before they arrive. Not yet, the ship said. Jump drive must calibrate. How long? 6 hours. Jace's eyes widened. We don't have 6 hours. The ship didn't answer. It didn't need to. The enemy was coming. Strong, prepared, deadly. Jace stood quickly. We fight. We cannot win, the ship said. Their ships are superior. Their weapons are designed to destroy vessels like me. Jace stared at the screen, watching small red dots appear at the edge of the display. Ships still far away, but closing fast. He whispered, how many? 10. 10 warships. Against one damaged alien vessel that had barely returned to life. Jace laughed, tired and angry. Well, that's horrible. It is reality. Jace paced the room, thinking fast. We can't jump. We can't fight. We can't hide. Correct. There has to be something. Silence. Then, slowly, the AI said, there may be one option, but it is dangerous and unpredictable. What is it? A partial jump, without full calibration. Jace blinked. Is that possible? Yes, but the risk is extreme. Define extreme. Jump failure could disintegrate the ship, or scatter us into deep space, or collapse the drive core. Jace took a slow breath. Survival rate? 4%. He stared at the screen. 4%. Better than 0. He smiled, tired but determined. We take it. You are making an emotional decision, the ship said. I'm making a human decision. Better a risky escape than waiting to die. The ship paused, processing. Then, I accept your choice. Initiating pre-jump sequence. Panels glowed blue. Energy levels rose. Outside, lightning storms echoed across the junkyard, wind screaming. As the countdown started, the AI spoke again. So quietly Jace almost didn't hear. Human. Yeah. You helped me live again. Jace looked around. Touched. You helped me live again, too. The ship's lights flickered like a heartbeat. Prepare. Jump in 20 seconds. Jace strapped in, heart pounding. The ship shook violently as engines charged. On the screen, the enemy fleet entered orbit. 10 red markers. Predators smelling blood. The ship counted down. 10, 9, 8. The enemy ships opened fire. Energy beams streaked through the atmosphere. 7, 6. The first impact struck the ground nearby, shaking the world. 5, 4. A beam hit the hull, alarm screaming. 3. Jace shouted, come on. 2. The ship whispered, almost like a prayer, do not die. 1. The world exploded into white light. Gravity broke. Time dissolved. The ship screamed, not in words, but in raw sound. And then, silence. Cold silence. Jace gasped, pulling air into burning lungs. Darkness surrounded him. Stars stretched like endless rivers. He whispered, trembling, ship, did we make it? A faint voice answered, weak but alive. Unknown location. Systems damaged. But we're alive. Jace laughed, eyes wet. That's enough. He looked at the stars. New stars. Different stars. They escaped. Not perfectly, but alive. The future was uncertain. The enemy would chase them. The galaxy would fear them. But Jace didn't care. He wasn't a failure anymore. He was part of something strange, powerful, and alive. He turned to the console, voice steady. So, where to now? The ship answered, tired but still stubborn. Anywhere, everywhere, as long as we keep moving. Jay smiled. Then let's go. And somewhere in the vast, dangerous universe, a pilot and a defiant alien ship began again. Together,